So Australia, 343 for 7, a lead of 196 at stumps. But I think I'm going to focus on the positives. Jason, I know you approve of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's mainly go for, because that first session, England got quite unlucky. They bowled well.
Yeah.
And Ollie Robinson has been someone that people have spoken about before this series, saying he could be the one. There's a lot of talk about Broad and Anderson, but then Ollie Robinson might be the key to any success that England have.
Yeah.
He did look good today, didn't he?
Yeah, he showed his worth. He's obviously a great bowler, and he makes you play a lot of balls, and you feel like you shouldn't really leave it, as Green found out. But yeah, he's a class bowler and doesn't really miss his areas. I said it yesterday as well. If we were going to have an outstanding day, we needed those nicks to go to hand. We needed stuff to go our way. And unfortunately, it didn't. Early in Travis's innings, obviously, it didn't quite go our way. And then he played a pretty impressive knock. I mean, that's an incredible knock, really. He's completely taken it to England. But yeah, Ollie Rob there did. I mean, that's his role in the team. Come up, hit an area over and over and over again, and he got his reward. So yeah, happy for him.
And Vish, Mark Wood bowling all kinds of heat. 94 miles an hour, or if your preferred unit of measurement is kilometres an hour, 150 kilometres an hour.
That's quick.
It's quick. It's quick. So there was positives there as well.
Yeah, definitely. The way he was utilised is always going to be really important, given that when England were planning for the series in January of 2020, they had Jofra Archer available to them, Ollie Stone, Mark Wood, and the idea was that they take those three, out-and-out quicks to Australia and rotate them through that. Now they've only got one because of injuries to the other two. And I thought, yeah, he did exceptionally well. He was, I thought Root captained him well. I think in the past, Root has been panned by many, actually, probably including myself, for how he's run Wood into the ground a bit. But I think using him in those short, sharp bursts and still managing to get 20 overs from him where he was still, ticking over into the 90s was good. And the wicket of Smith as well, a huge, huge wicket. I can't remember the last time I didn't see him get big runs. So, I think I've exhausted all the positives now. I think that's about right from an England perspective. But yeah, Wood was very impressive.
Yeah, Jason mentioned it earlier. We were talking yesterday about you just need things to go your way. And I expect when you see a couple of catches going down, run-outs not happening, no balls.
I think it doesn't matter what kind of level of cricket you play. I think we've all been there when sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and especially when it is 28 degrees heat. You drop one on 7, he gets bowled on a no ball at 17, gets dropped on 48, end up scoring 96 odd. Like, it's frustrating, and it does play into your head as a bowler as well. Being frustrated with your teammates, with how yesterday's play went as well.
Yeah.
From a positive side, from an Australian, we're going to keep grinding England into I was going to say into existence, but that sounds a bit too threatening. But I'm glad that there was a bounce back, and Ollie bowled exceptionally well, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's day.
Yeah, going on to those no balls, though, that's not the fact that he's bowled them, and that happens, but like the fact that I heard it on the radio this morning driving up that he wasn't told. An umpire would normally run up, you bowl a ball, and the umpire might have a quiet word to you and say, "Oh, you're getting close," or you're kind of creeping up, or whatever. Nothing was said, and I mean, I think it was something he bowled his previous 4 deliveries were no balls before that wicket anyway, and then that one got called obviously because he got the wicket. So, and that's slightly frustrating. Obviously, he's not going to want to be bowl no balls, but just to be told something, you can easily adjust that as a bowler.
Yeah, we've got a tweet up there on screen from Alison Mitchell saying that it was only the wicket-taking deliveries that were being checked for no balls. So that's the kind of thing that ends up happening there. And yeah, though if he knows that he's treading over the line, he probably doesn't do it for that crucial.
No, absolutely not.
Delivery.
No, exactly. But
yeah,
and that's the way it goes.
Also, a very long day in the field, and I'm sure you can tell us what's that like when you've been out there all day. Is there fatigue? You weren't bowling, but is there fatigue that sets in, particularly in temperature like that?
Yeah, there will be fatigue, and then there'll also be that mental fatigue as far as kind of knowing the job in hand as well. There's being out in the field, obviously that's not nice on the legs, but then also you go as a batsman, you're thinking, been out in the field all day, maybe half the day tomorrow, and then I've got to go in and bat for 2 days. So you also start mentally preparing for that a little bit, and yeah, it's all going to be very tough. And like I said, it's going to be tough for the guys. But I don't know. I'm ever the optimist, so I think we'll be okay.
Well, a big part of that long day in the field came from that second wicket partnership, Warner and Labuschagne, who were there for hours and did their job perfectly.
Yeah.
And Adam Collins and Chris Rogers, a man who knows about good opening partnerships, they're out in Australia and they had a few things to say about that partnership.
Adam Collins, an Ashes champion. Chris Rogers with me here. It's really quiet in the life of David Warner, and nor was it today. 3 chances on the way to 94. Chris, you opened the batting with him for a long time. He has an incredible resilience about him, doesn't he? He gets dropped, doesn't really worry him too much.
No, I mean, he had a lot of luck today. I thought England bowled pretty well to him at times. A few that flew through a vacant fourth slip area. A couple of missed run-out chances and then even bowled off a no ball. But, you know, I think it was one of those days where almost you think, oh, I can't get out. I'm going to make the most of this. And he played some really good shots in the meantime. Be disappointed he didn't get to 3 figures. But all in all, I think he'd be pretty happy that he's got off to a good start in this series.
He would have been happy Stuart Broad wasn't playing either. Got him out 7 times in the previous Ashes in 2019. He had an average of 9.5 across that entire series, and Broad left out at the Gabba. That works out well for little Davey.
Without a doubt. I mean, that was one of the curious decisions, I think. I think even before a ball was bowled, even before the toss has gone up, Davey Warner's probably, you know, jumping for joy. He would have thought, you know, I've already got a win in the bag. So that was a curious decision, particularly just with that one distinct matchup, and it's cost England a little bit. Albeit, I think England have bowled not too badly.
Little Davey seems to be having the time of his life, didn't he? Every time the camera cut to him, he was grinning. He was getting lucky with things. Marnus Labuschagne down the other end, shouting, doing the most dramatic, no run!
I think he's just trying to show off he's been taking vocal classes.
Painful, mate. I'm honest with you. Extremely painful when you see Marnus carrying on like that. But, I mean, it's got him to where he's got, so he'll probably continue, I would have thought.
Yeah, and those two, that set the stall, didn't it, for Australia, to then get our bowlers into the third and fourth spells. When you see those guys batting like that, Warner we spoke about yesterday coming off the T20 World Cup where he was so good there, he's in good form again and getting lucky, and sometimes that's important too.
Yeah, I think just from a psychological perspective, I think he gets dropped or he gets bowled off no ball, puts it aside and just continues to score runs. And he's the type of player that's so explosive that he'll make you punish. Like he'll punish you for making those mistakes in the field, which was awesome to see, obviously from an Australian perspective, but must be extremely frustrating for you English fans, Fish.
Yeah, well, it was pretty special partnership all told, and I know obviously Warner got lucky, but if you look at the way they treated Jack Leach, I can't remember who it was, but an old Australian coach used to say that the reason spinners exist in cricket is to get you from 50 to 100. And that lack of respect was very much, on show there. And I think, this is still, we're only day 2 into the first test of a 5-test series, but evidently whenever an Ashes start in Australia, Australians are often thinking, right, how can we inflict the most damage? Who's the most vulnerable? And there's been a lot of, Jack Leach is someone who unequivocally is their first choice spinner. But I wouldn't say that over the last year, England have treated him as their first choice spinner. And Australia would have sensed that and really gone after him. I mean, going at almost 9s with the amount of overs he bowled on day 2 is no good sign. And probably would have, even the wicket of Marnus in the end, slapping a long hop to backward point. It's not the ideal way he would have wanted to get on the board, but hopefully for him, better days are ahead. Yeah,
Jason,
tough for him. Tough for him. Not a lot of spin on offer, shorter straight boundaries and a bit of bounce, and bowling to one of the best, most explosive left-handed batsmen in the world. So extremely tough for him. And it was evident that they did come out. Every single batter came out with that plan, but that was probably their only choice. I mean, there's no other bowler that really they could really take advantage of. So, I feel for him. He's obviously so much better than that. But I mean, sometimes it's just the way it is.